Gallagher is a character that a lot of players have been really excited about ever since his drip marketing. And since he's going to be dropping in just a few days, today I want to go over his kit and the banners he's going to be on to see if he is going to have enough value for players to invest in him. Now, he is a 4-star, so I don't want to do the whole should you pull for him kind of thing, but I do want to see if, based on what his kit provides, if he has enough value to go out of your way to invest in him, or what situation you would want to go out of your way to invest in him. So starting out here, I always like to read the little blurb they have about the character before going into their kit. So he is an abundance character with the fire element, which is a pretty solid combo. So for Gallagher, he is a support character with offensive capabilities. His ultimate can attack all enemies, causing them to fall into the besotted state while also enhancing Gallagher's next basic attack. When allies attack besotted enemies, the attacker's health is restored. So a lot of his healing seems to be like a lifesteal kind of mechanic, where you'll get your HP back upon attacking enemies with this specific debuff. So now to go into more of the specifics of it, starting out with his basic and enhanced basic attacks. So for his basic attack, he just deals fire damage to a single enemy, nothing too crazy on that. And then for his enhanced basic attack, which you get upon using his ultimate, you'll deal fire damage to a single target, and you'll also reduce that target's attack, which will last the debuff will last for a certain number of turns. So pretty good overall. It does have a nice debuff there, so you don't take as much damage since you are lowering attack on the enemy. So yeah, definitely some solid utility there for sure on the enhanced basic attack, but a lot of it comes from that debuff, which we'll get to. Then his skill really quickly, he is just going to heal a single target. They don't have the amount here, or if it scales off of anything. So say if it doesn't scale off of anything, then it's probably just like a flat amount. Hopefully it's not like awful. Hopefully it's at least decent for a 4-star. Like I know the 4-stars aren't gonna have like insane healing like Bailu, Huo, and the like. So I do know that he won't be that crazy, but hopefully this is at least decent to make this kind of like an emergency kind of thing. Because I don't really see people using the skill that often, to be honest. It is a single target heal. Then for his ultimate, he's going to inflict the besotted state on all enemies for a certain number of turns, and will also deal fire damage to all these enemies as well. And as I said before, when you use your ultimate, it does enhance your next basic attack to Nectar Blitz, so you will be able to get that attack debuff when he gets his next attack. Which, this is pretty good overall. We are going to go into what Besotted does in the talent. Being able to guaranteed apply the Besotted effect to every enemy is also very nice. Plus, it does count as a debuff as well. So, I'm pretty sure it does. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure it does count as a debuff, which is very good overall. Yep. Then, for the talent, or how the Besotted effect works, so it will increase the amount of break damage that the inflicted enemies will receive, and every time an enemy with the Besotted effect is attacked by an ally, they will restore HP, which is it's a very interesting way to do a healer. I honestly kind of like lifesteal characters, so this is cool that you'll be able to get some HP back. And judging by like the little gift they have over there, the healing seems pretty decent. So that is definitely solid, and I do think that Gallagher might end up scaling off a break effect, at least for certain parts of his kit. So he is going to be very good in that regard, especially since Fire does have one of the highest initial break damages in the game. So he definitely is going to be pretty valuable with that for sure. Then for his technique, you're going to immediately attack the enemy and start battle. And when you enter battle with his technique, you are going to inflict Besotted on all enemies for a certain number of turns, and will also deal fire damage to them, which is pretty solid. That you can start out with the debuff right away. But yeah, his kit not too complicated, which is very good. You pretty much just want to get to his ult, inflict Besotted. You get your enhanced basic attack afterwards to get the extra attack debuff, and then you just cycle your ultimate, trying to keep Besotted up as much as possible. So moving on to his traces now. Starting out with the first one here, it'll increase his outgoing healing by an amount equal to a percentage of his break effect, up to a max amount. So this will allow you to get some extra healing based on his break effect. So as I said, you are going to want to build a good amount of break effect on him. I feel like because we don't have the numbers here, depending on what they are, it could be the difference of do you build a break effect rope on him or do you build energy regen. Of course, we don't know how expensive his ultimate is either, so we'll have to see what will be the most valuable thing for people to build. But this is still very good to get some heat, to improve the healing, not just of his skill, but also from allies hitting the besotted enemy. Then his second one, Organic Yeast. After he uses his ultimate, he immediately will action advance forward, which is really good because right after his ultimate, he uses his enhanced basic attack. So this could be a really great like burst, not just to get that extra attack debuff, but also if the enemy doesn't have too much of their weakness gauge left, you can do ult and then enhanced basic attack and likely get a very solid break on them as well. And with you building break effect for this first trace, that break damage should be pretty solid as well. So I really do like that for trace. Then lastly, for traces, when Gallagher uses Nectar Blitz to attack enemies in the besotted state, the HP like healing effect from hitting the besotted enemy will actually apply to the other allies as well. So this actually works really well with the second trace too, because let's say for example you're in a situation where you are running low on health, Gallagher can use his ultimate to apply besotted everywhere, and then you can use his enhanced basic attack right after to just heal the entire team up, which is really nice to be able to keep you alive there. So yeah, that is it for his kit. So now moving on to his banner, I do think that he is a bit of a special case because you are able to get Gallagher for free with the upcoming 4-star Selector that we're getting. So if you don't plan to pull during the first half of 2.0 or 2.1, I mean, you can still get Gallagher, which is really awesome. It's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Yeah, just so I can have him on my account. But in terms of the banners, I do think that he has a good amount of synergy with Acheron because of the debuffs he provides, which will give Acheron more stacks of her Slash Dream, which will give her more chances to use her ultimate. Now, when it comes to Locha, he is going to be a bit of, you know, a clash with him because they do both, they're both in the healer role, so you're probably not going to really run them together. But when it comes to the other two 4-stars, Hela can definitely be helpful, especially if you're pulling on Acheron's banner, because all three of them can be very good together to get Acheron more stacks of Slash Dream. And then for Donhung, that's pretty much just if you're struggling for DPS options, because at this point I think there's a lot of DPS options, so if you're like a newer player and don't have too much yet, then Donhung Eidolons could definitely be good for you, or if you just like hyper invested in him and you still use him. But a lot of the times he's just not going to be as valuable as other DPS options, and no, not any like specific synergy between Gallagher and Donhung as well, so he's kind of just there. So now to answer the burning question in the video, is Gallagher worth investing in? And I do think overall Gallagher is only really going to be worth investing in if you, for one, don't have many sustains and you just need to build up a good sustain, because I think he could be at least decent in a lot of situations, but I do think Gallagher ends up being very niche. A bit more than some other characters we've seen so far, just because since his healing and his kit is focusing on like break effect, then I do think that his best situations are going to be on break teams, which this can include raw and mate teams, it can include dot teams. Any team where you are going to be breaking the enemy's toughness a lot can benefit from him a lot, especially if you do make him the character to actually get the break. And pairing with Ra and Mei, you will get the extra break damage from her as well, plus the plus burn just having a strong initial break damage. Now, yeah, like as I said, if you are struggling with sustains, he can be a good option to just build up. But since we already have 2 free sustains in Natasha and Lynx, I don't think he will end up being as beneficial unless you really want to replace Natasha, which is fair enough, honestly. But he does still have value. I know a lot of people have Ruan Mei, a lot of people run Dot, so he could still be a very solid option there as well if you're struggling for a sustain with those comps. But yeah, that is overall how I feel about Gallagher. Let me know what you think of him in the comments down below. I think he is going to be cool, and I'm going to probably enjoy testing him out whenever I can, but I doubt I will be using him very consistently. But with that, I'm going to end it off here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.